Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Harinam Sankirtan Yajna ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Samaveda Gaura Bhaktarunda ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahed Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are reading from the book Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 15, text number 8. Tasye mam gatam Pandaveya Puravida Upagayanti. So it's a small thing, so we'll proceed with the word translation further. Word translation purport by His Divine Grace, Yasi Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Tasya of King Gaya, Imam, these, Gatam, poetic verses of glorification, Pandaveya, O Maharaja Parikshit, Puravidaha, those learned in the historical events of the Puranas, Upagayanti. Sing. Translation. My dear King Parikshit, those who are learned scholars in the histories of the Puranas eulogize and glorify King Gaya with the following verses. Purport. The historical references to exalted king serve as a good example for present rulers. Those who are ruling the world at the present moment should take lessons from King Gaya, King Yudhishthira, and King Prutu and rule the citizens so that they'll be happy. Presently, the governments are levying taxes without improving the citizens in any cultural, religious, social, or political way. According to the Vedas, this is not recommended. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namavom Vishnu Padayam Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Ani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachate Deshata Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for the Sunday Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we are very fortunate to be in this month. So this is a very special month. So we have already entered Damodar month. Damodar month is very, very special for devotees. Why? Because this is the month of Srimati Radharani. So one interesting thing about this month. So before that, seek all your blessings to render this service. So this month is one speciality of this month is actually we see that we worship Yashoda Damodar in all our ISKCON altars. Otherwise, you won't see Yashoda Damodar in the other months. Especially keep Yashoda Damodar picture and offer lamps. So what Yashoda Damodar signifies, actually this shows that the power of devotion. So how the devotion controls the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's what that picture shows that. And the devotion is so powerful that even brings the Krishna under the control of his devotees. So this month actually tells us the power of devotion. So it's very, very important for us that it encourages us that please go on with your devotional service. So Bhagavad Gita says in 11th chapter, Bhaktyatva Ananya Sakhya. Only by unalloyed and undivided pure devotional service only we can please Krishna. So again this point comes again that only by pure devotional service we can please Krishna, we can bring Krishna under the control. Of course, we don't want Krishna to bring under our control. But the thing is, the devotion is so powerful that Krishna voluntarily comes. You ask Elon Musk, can you come under? Can he comes ever under his servant's control? No. You ask Ambani, he has so many cars. You ask him, can you become one time, keep your servant back seat and then you drive the car? No. So that's why when we are praying to Krishna, oh Radharani, oh Krishna, please engage us in your service. So it doesn't mean only Krishna is like an autocrat. He is only receiving service. He only wants service. Yes, he demands that also. But at the same time, Krishna wants to render service to his devotees. This month also signifies that. So that's why the devotion is pure devotional service is so important that even Krishna voluntarily comes under the control of his devotees. So now, how did we get this fortune even to discuss this topic? Means at least I can tell from my side before coming to Krishna consciousness movement or ISKCON, this was Srila Prabhupada's movement. Means I never celebrated Damodar festival. I have celebrated Kartik. In Andhra Pradesh, the traditional festival Kartik means, on the day of Kartik Purnima. That's a very special day. Entire Kartik, it's a special day. People especially take cold water bath. In ISKCON, no one takes. But in traditionally in South India, people take cold water head bath and then go to the temple, visit, offer lamps. And especially if those who don't offer the lamps every day, what do? They have a big bundle of wicks, 1,000 bundle wicks. Those who are from Andhra Pradesh, they know. Big bundle of wicks. What do? On the day of Kartik Purnima, they lit them and then offer in front of the temple. That means whatever I could not do so far, this is the day I'm doing it in bulk. So this is how traditionally Kartik month is celebrated. But means I never even did that also. But only after coming in touch with Srila Prabhupada's movement, I could understand that what is the significance of this Kartik month, Kartik, or we also call it as Damodar month. Who is the deity of Kartik month? She's Kartika Devi, she's Radharani. So, very nice thing is, it signifies that without actually pleasing Radharani, it's very difficult to please Krishna. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Masana Marga Shirshoham. I am the Marga Shirsha month. So before Marga Shirsha, what month comes? Damodar month comes. So similarly in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we chant first Hare. So we can only approach Krishna through Srimati Radharani. That's why this month is very, very important for all the devotees. So she is a Kartika Devi Radharani. We call it as Urja Vrat. So we worship, we please, we are doing everything to please Srimati Radharani so that she can take us to Krishna. And that is so. Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar Bhagwan ki, Shri Shri Yashoda Damodar ki, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So now, why Srila Prabhupada did that? So basically, just I wanted to tell this, and Lordships opened their darshan. So we got this mercy because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva. Ajanulambita bhujau, kanakavadato, sankirtanaika pitaro, kamalayataksho, vishwambaro, dijavaro, yugadharma palo, vande jagat priyakaro, karunavataro. So we are sitting here discussing. It's all because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, and that too the topics of, the topics of highest level, directly discussing the topics of Krishna. Very difficult to understand these pastimes. Ordinarily, everyone feels that in TV or everywhere they discuss this one, but actually, it's very difficult to understand this pastime. Every act of Krishna, actually, there is some deep significance is there. So, like that. So, Ajanulambita Bhujo Kanakavadato. So, both Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, their hands extend to the Nidya, Ajanulam. Bhujo Kanakavadato. They wear the molten golden dresses and their color is like that. Kanakavadato. Then Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya. Their eyes are like lotus petals. We don't know how eyes look like lotus petals. We don't have experience. In the material world, we don't see any person with lotus petal eyes. I don't know what does it look like also. But scriptures talk about again and again. Even Nama Pankajanabhaya, Nama Pankajamalini, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre. We don't know what does it mean. But we want to experience that. And Bhagavatam will take us to that platform. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu's eyes are like Kamalaya Taksha. Their eyes are like golden lotus petals. And then Vishwambaro, Dijabaro, Yugadharma Palo. Actually, they are the ones who nourish devotees. How do they? For nourishment of the body, what is required? We require food. So similarly, for nourishment of the soul, what is required? Love for Krishna. No, love. Every day we sing Shikshashtakam, that we say Yuga Itam Nimeshena. Oh Krishna, when will I experience that moment? That one moment appears like 12 years. When that will happen? Only when one has love for Krishna. Like even in the material world that one experiences, like no Laila Majnu and other like no love stories are there where the lover feels a separation, a moment is like long duration. Samay beat nahi rahe, time is not passing, feels like that. So a devotee of Krishna, when he falls in love with Krishna, when he loves Krishna, what happens? He feels that even moment is like a 12 years, which gopis were experiencing. And Bhagavatam wants us to take from our platform to that kind of platform. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, they nourish the devotees by giving love for Krishna. Yuga Dharma Pala. This is Yuga Dharma. And then Sankirtaneka Pitaro Kamalayataksha Vishwambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. They are the most merciful incarnation. Why? To the most degraded living entities, what they have given? The highest love for Krishna. We don't understand this also. It's very difficult. Oh, I am receiving love for Krishna. No. So, but we are, at least we can understand this much. We are the most degraded living entities. Actually, there is a risk in giving the highest benediction to the most degraded living entities because they can misuse it also. That's how this Sahajiya Parampara also came into picture. Our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara went through this phase of Sahajism. Just before Bhakti Vinod Thakur, our entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, like Aula, Baula, Sakhi Bek, Gauranga Nagiri. Actually, in the name of devotion, actually they were doing non-devotion. It is actually misinterpreted devotion. So that's why it's very dangerous. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur has to do a research, and he, with the help of one more person, he has categorized. It appears as a devotion, but it is not devotion. It is so dangerous. So pure devotion is very rare. And through Bhakti Vinod Thakur, again Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, what we say, revitalized. And then from there, we have received. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, what they wanted to give, that got lost at several intervals in between actually. One of the interval is just before Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that phase, after Baldev Vidya Bhushan. So, but now we are able to sit here, discuss pure devotional service because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, ultimately through Srila Prabhupada. So we are so fortunate that even to celebrate this month. So the glories of this month are unlimited. If ordinarily if you speak, so much piety comes actually, but we are not interested in piety. We are interested in devotion. We want to meet Krishna. That's what we want to love Krishna. So that is our thing. So now we are discussing this 5th canto, 15th chapter, 8th shloka. It's a very interesting thing. Entire 5th canto, this entire Bhagavatam, just like Bhagavad Gita, we have 5 concepts. Bhagavatam, 10 concepts. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya. Manvantara anukata nirodho mukti ashraya. So this utaya means what? The creative impetus. So that is what entire 5th canto we are discussing. What is the impetus for the Lord to create? What is the impetus? Everyone gets this question. Why this universe is created? Why this world is created? And 5th canto exactly addresses that question. Utaya means creative impetus. What is the impetus for the Lord to create this? This entire so complicated universe, so gigantic cosmos. Even to understand a minuscule of this universe, so complicated. Even now there is no proper understanding about this cosmos. And why it is created? Ordinarily people will say, eat, marry and be happy. This world is meant for what? Enjoyment. Enjoy as much as. Some time back we discussed, Yavat Jivet Basmi Bhutasya Dehasya Punaragaman. Who has seen the next life? Just enjoy. That is all. This is called Bogardam. So everyone understand this material world as for Boga, for pleasure. And that is what everyone hankers for that. So now we are in the modern world, 21st century. Now we are entering into the world of IoT, Internet of Everything, artificial intelligence. So now we want to enjoy this matter to the highest degree. Whatever is there now, it is not sufficient. We wanted to enjoy to the highest degree. That's why now everything is connected on your fingertips. You can switch on light, you can communicate while sitting on your chair. So this is where we are landing. So we want to give the highest pleasure to the senses. Highest pleasure to the sense. Of course, people are also frustrated. They are not able. But everyone thinks Bogardam. Enjoyment of the senses is the purpose of the creation. But fifth canto says, what it says? It's not for Bogardam. What it is for? Mokshartham. Huh? It's for mokshartham. Means to get out of the cycle of birth and death and go back to home, back to Godhead, and to meet the Lord and to love, to render service. No, this is what fifth canto. So the central words of this Bhagavatam, like no, Nayam Deho Deha Bhajan, Kashtan Kaman Arhate Vidbhujane, Tapo Divyam Putra Kayena Sattvam, Shuddhya Desmat, Brahma Sokyam Tha Anantam. So Nayam Deha Deho Bhajan. So even a stool eating hogs, they have the facility to enjoy sense gratification. Stool eating hogs also, like somehow in Bangalore you don't see them because everywhere these are closed. But it's a good to have that experience. No, I was hearing from Isgra Shrutakirti Prabhu. So he was telling that when they first came to India, in 1970s they came to India with Srila Prabhupada. And he was telling his experience that first time I saw what I have learnt in Bhagavad Gita. What is that? I have seen, Prabhupada always says hogs and dogs. I saw hogs lying in the drainage and enjoying. Dogs also. He was telling like that his experience. For them it is something different. He was also telling, there is one verse in Bhagavatam actually. Swavid Dvarahostra Kare Samstuta Purusha Pashu. He was telling that camel, I saw first time camel eating thorns and feeling pleasure out of eating its own blood. So he was telling, for the first time in India, I am experiencing what I have learnt in the scriptures. For us, from my childhood, I have seen how stool eating hogs, but never understood this one point, that Nayam Deho Deha Bhajan Kashtan Kama Narhate Vidbhujane. The sense gratification even is there for hogs. Never. Prabhupada has given that vision. Then, Prabhupada, before Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he sent his disciples to London. And then there, one person approached the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said, I want to become Brahmana. Okay, very good. So now what you have to do for becoming a Brahmana? He said 4 rules. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. Huh? Okay, what else is there in life if I don't do these things? So you see, these 2 lines is the entire material world. They hankers for it, and the entire modern civilization is an attempt to push forward more and more and more this sense gratification. Now, what's third and fourth? Now, Bhagavatam is telling you have something else also to do. What is that? Shuddhyet yasmat brahma saukyam to anantam. This human form of life is for actually experience higher happiness, spiritual happiness, and that Krishna wants to give us, and that's why he comes to this material world to reciprocate with his devotees. That's why you see this pastime. So many devotees, our Satyavrata Muni is relishing that pastime. So he wants to give us that, and this month is that's so special actually. So Bhogartham and Mokshartham. So all we have to do is, so everyone runs after Bhoga, but we should try. It's not an easy transition from Bhoga to Moksha. It requires endeavor. Again, Damodar Leela, 2 fingers. One of them is endeavor. So which shows that without endeavor from our side, very difficult to get the mercy of Krishna. Ordinarily, everyone feels that, okay, I can go to temple, ring the bell and offer something, then I'll get the mercy of the Lord. No. We have to work to receive the mercy of the Lord. It's not a free lunch. In corporate world we say free lunch. There's nothing free lunch. So we have to work for moksha. We have to work for attaining Krishna. So, in short, recently when Radheshyam Prabhu came to our SNGM, he talked about this one short acronym. He always talks about acronyms, but this one, registered in my mind recently. DASI. He stressed on this point. DA. What is DA? In our corporate world, DA means Dearness Allowance. Okay, DA means detachment from sense gratification and attachment to Krishna. Of course, SI is also there, how to actually get that. So Prabhu also gave an example that there's a guava, raw guava, to take it out from the tree, it's very difficult, but when it becomes ripened, it's easy. So he was telling one important thing, only when we experience higher taste in Krishna consciousness, which also Bhagavad Gita speaks, Vishya Vinivartante Niraha Rasya Dehina, Rasavarjam Rasopyasya, Parandrishtani. Only when we are able to experience higher taste in Krishna consciousness, it is easy to give up. Otherwise, it is very difficult. We will go up, down, up, down. It's a struggle for sadhakas. So this month reminds again us that go beyond what you are actually experiencing. Go for higher taste. And Krishna performs pastimes for that purpose. So many intricate details are there in his pastimes. How Krishna wants to give pleasure to his devotee. That's why every day we sing. We may not observe that. Praladalada Dahini. Krishna comes in all his incarnation to give pleasure to his devotees. Why? Because we are Anandamayo Vyasat, we are pleasure seeking. So, Krishna, I was telling yesterday in Bhakti Ruksha session, what is Krishna consciousness? One reporter asked Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness is simply what? To enjoy with Krishna. So we are not denying enjoyment, and it is difficult to deny enjoyment. Like we have seen Vishwamutra Muni, Saubhari Muni, great stalwarts. It's difficult to deny the enjoyment. Rather, Krishna consciousness movement is aiming at dovetailing our enjoyment propensity to enjoy with Krishna. This is the crux, to enjoy with Krishna, and that is why we are all here to relish with Krishna. Now we are struggling, but a day will come when we get a chance to meet Krishna, to be with him personally. Long back when I was in Vrindavan, one time His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu was giving this example. That time only, first time I means that actually registered in my mind, that he told in Vrindavan, ISKCON Vrindavan temple, no, Brahmaji had a chance to shake hand with Krishna. So how many of us wants to shake hand with Krishna? So, why shake hand? We can actually play with Krishna also. Yesterday I was also telling that people ask this question, can you show the God? We are telling, why only stopping, only seeing God? Come, we will make you to play with Krishna, embrace Krishna also. Not in current state, but Bhagavatam wants to take us to that platform of loving Krishna. So you see, so our perception of devotion before coming to Srila Prabhupada's movement, and our perception of devotion after coming in touch with Krishna consciousness movement is actually 180 degrees opposite. We think that go to temple in the morning, in the evening, just do something, then rest of the life is mine. But Krishna consciousness movement means every moment we want to remember Krishna. Every moment remembering Krishna is only possible when we actually love Krishna. And Bhagavatam wants to take us to that stage. So now the question comes, okay, Bhagavatam goal is to love Krishna. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam sukha mukhad amruta drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. If that is the goal, why Sukadeva Goswami is taking so much strain in, even it is very difficult to remember the names given in Bhagavatam, but Sukadeva Goswami one after another name he was telling. Just now today we were discussing about King Gaya. Who is Gaya? When we hear the Gaya, means generally we remember the Gaya where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gone, which is in, I think, Bihar, right? It's a very famous thing. As just now we completed, I think, that month Pitru Paksha, and so many people want to visit Gaya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also personally visited Gaya, and after coming from Gaya only he became a mad person, mad in love with Krishna. So, but this King Gaya, who is this Gaya? Actually, Sukadeva Goswami memory is very sharp. I don't know how he remembered all those names. This Gaya, to tell the King Gaya, I have to look my notes actually. So, if you see this history, entire genealogical map is given in Bhagavatam also. We will also discuss why it is given. But if you see, who is the first living entity in our universe? Brahma. But who is Brahma? He actually appeared on the lotus of that which sprouted from the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Krishna's expansion as Balram to Chaturvyuha, Sankarshana Pradyumna Aniruddha Vasudeva, and from there another Sankarshana, another Chaturvyuha, and from there Mahavishnu, Yak Karanarnava Jale Bhajatisma Yoga, Nidramananta Saroma Kupa. All the universes which are in seedling format, they emanate from the body of Mahavishnu. But as soon as the seed comes out, it doesn't grow. And Mahavishnu had to expand as a Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and he enters into the universal seed format. And then it starts growing, just like a half cell of mother, half cell of father. Simply by uniting them, it doesn't grow. Only when the soul enters into the half cell of mother, half cell of father, only when that union, soul enters, then that starts growing. That's why all the unions doesn't produce a child. Otherwise, why would we have so many clinics, fertility clinics? They are growing like anything, especially in Bangalore. No? Similarly, the seed of the universe that emanated from the body of Mahavishnu doesn't grow just like that. So he had to expand as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And only once he enters, then the universe starts expanding. And our universe diameter is 4.32 billion miles. So, sorry, radius, I think. Yeah. And then from there, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu expands as Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu and enters as a Paramatma. So nothing in this material, but even a cell cannot be activated without Krishna's entering as a Paramatma. So from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, the lotus flower emanated on top. Brahmaji came in second canto. We read that he was not seeing anything. He heard only two words, tapa, and then he performed tapasya. And then finally Krishna gave the vision. So Brahmaji, I am not going into further details there. What I wanted to tell, from Brahmaji, who is the first living entity then, whom Brahmaji has created? Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa. Brahmaji divided into left side and right side into two. Shatarupa and Swayambhu Manu. And from there, who came? Swayambhu Manu has two sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata, three daughters, Akuti, Prasuti and Devahuti. So fourth canto we already learnt about Uttanapad, his dynasty Dhrumaraj comes. In fifth canto Priyavrata. So now Priyavrata, whose son of Priyavrata is whom? Agnidra. Agnidra's son Nabi. Nabi's son Rishabdev. We have learnt in detail about Rishabdev. And Rishabdev's 100 sons, eldest is Bharata. And Bharata's son is Sumati. Sumati's son is, you see, you are able to see, actually Sukadeva Goswami is telling about mother and father also, who is the wife of whom, and then is telling their son. And then Devatajit, and then his son is Devadyumna. I am only telling one son's name. Each of them has multiple sons. And Sukadeva Goswami has given the names of all of them. And Devadyumna and Parameshti. And then Pratiharta, Bhuma, and Prastaya, Vibhu, Prutusena, Nakta, and Gaya. You see how much big lineage is there? So you see, if Gola Bhagavatam is love of Krishna, why he had to take so much of pain in remembering that devotees feel? Why I have to remember all the verses? Why I have to remember the teachings? That's okay, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. You know? No. Otherwise, mind always thinks of so many things. If you just close your eyes and think, mind keeps on thinking, even while practicing Krishna consciousness, except Krishna, everything comes into mind. Now, but Sukadeva Goswami is so absorbed in remembering everything, and he was telling so wonderfully, so eloquently. He did not even stumble to say the names actually. And not only he stopped here, he went on to say so many names. Even in 9th canto, entire that Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha gives the big name. It appears very, very boring also sometimes. But why? Why he has given such a... Why he has taken the pain to give all those names? Now we are studying about King Gaya. Why? Why genealogy is mentioned? So Bhagavatam, while keeping the focus as love of Krishna, it also talks about so many things. But the purpose of everything is to take us one thing only. That is actually To love Krishna. So why genealogy is mentioned? Any guess? Any guess why Sukdev Goswami has taken so much pain to repeat? Huh? Authenticity. Who said? Huh. You also said same. Acha, all of you know authenticity. Wow, wonderful. Any answer? Any other?
It's not story, it is real.
Yes. Bhagavatam is Purana. This is actually from the childhood. Like, when for the first time I entered IIT Kanpur, I heard this word. Until that time, I did not even care about hearing that word also. But for the first time, I heard that word, mythology. And one devotee was so much pained to hear the word. I was thinking, what is there? Here, mythology, okay, there is one English word, what is there? But later I understood actually why devotees will feel pain in hearing this word. Because someone says Bhagavad Gita did not happen, it is only simple, someone has written story. Pancha Pandavas are, no, they have there's some misinterpreted version is there. No, neither Bhagavad Gita nor Bhagavatam nor any of the scriptures are myth. It is actually happened. Just like in our social studies, we have learned that how Muslims attacked India. Vrindavan, if you go, you will see that the Muslims have destroyed Vrindavan, that Madan Mohan temple, such a big temple of Vrindavan. Later, most of the deities they have gone to Rajasthan. All the devotees they have struggled to keep those deities. Took them to Rajasthan, and all of the deities they are there. Radha Govind, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Damodar, which we see Radha Damodar in Vrindavan is not actually the Radha Damodar. Actually, it's later prepared. Except only Vrinda Devi and Radha Raman. Only these two are the deities stayed back in Vrindavan. Everyone left Vrindavan. They all went to Rajasthan. You see, this is a history. It's not something myth. It happened, it is recorded, and it is there in our books. So, similarly, why genealogy is given in our Bhagavatam? To prove this is not something out of imagination Vyasadeva has written. No, it is actual events that has happened from when? From the beginning of the creation. That's why he's giving, that's why told all the way from Krishna to Garbhodak Sai Vishnu and then Brahmaji to Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu is the first Manu. So from the beginning of the creation, how dynasties were created, means how dynasties progressed, how generation after generation. So this is to establish the authenticity of Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, if someone says it's a mythology, we should slap. You see, Bhagavatam is telling, you fool. Of course, we cannot say, but Prabhupada said, you fools and rascals. Bhagavad Gita, on the strength of Bhagavad Gita, avajananti ma muda. But at least we should have conviction that if my mind says this is a myth, you rascal, shut up. This is there, genealogy is there in a Bhagavatam. So, we have to preach to ourselves also, to our mind. There is a Mana Shiksha is also there, Raghunath Das Goswami preaching to the mind. So that's why later I understood why the devotee was feeling pain when he heard the word mythology. No, this is actually the emotion of a devotee. It took long time for me to even understand why the devotee actually experienced pain. And this is true. If someone says this myth, we feel pain because this is not something a myth. So there is a systematic attempt to throw out the God out of the civilization. That is the root cause of all the suffering. So one reason is authenticity. Now another thing is trigger when you remember when the name of a devotee is given. So now Sukadeva Goswami is explaining and stopped at a certain point. Like for example, he was explaining and then stopped at Rishabdev. Rishabdev he explained for 3-4 chapters and then like that. And now and explained and then he stopped now. Where? Gaya. He did not stop. He did not explain every person's history, what they have done. He stopped at only certain names. So the reason is to actually, this person is a pure devotee of the Lord. Not everyone in the lineage is a pure devotee of the Lord. So just to tell the how rarity of the pure devotional service, how rare to have a pure devotee. All of us are practicing. How many of us can become pure devotees? It's a very rare thing. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam shanabangura tatrapi durlabham mane vaikunta tatrapi durlabham mane. It's very, very rare. Very, very rare. So, very rare. So, just to tell that how pure devotee is rare, Sukadeva Goswami is stopping only to tell certain names. And King Gaya is one such pure devotee of the Lord, which we have read about him today. And when we also learn about those devotees, what happens? Because Bhagavatam is not something that, okay, this devotee is there, you learn it and then. No. Bhagavatam wants us to encourage to become a devotee like that. We cannot imitate them, but we can take an inspiration. Without an inspiration, how can we progress in a certain path? Everyone, like, you take any startup businessman. Like, my company is SVP, Senior Vice President. Previously, he was a owner of a startup company, and he did something, and then later it got merged into the current organization and he became a SVP. So how do they get inspiration? By seeing other fellow businessmen, they get the idea. So Krishna consciousness also requires an inspiration to continue devotion till the last minute of breath. Otherwise we'll become dila pad jata, we become weak, or we feel discouraged, or we feel not enthusiastic. We need an inspiration, yes, who have followed this path of Krishna consciousness and have reached the goal. And King Gaya is one such person. So to give us an inspiration, what kind of devotional sentiments they have experienced while performing devotional service to Krishna. So that actually gives a lot of inspiration. So that's why it is said that even discussing about Krishna, okay, but discussing about devotees is more powerful than discussing about Krishna. Why? Because discussing about devotees actually gives that enthusiasm to perform Krishna consciousness. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami has taken the pain. Even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adi Leela, so many names of the devotees are there. So many devotees in the Adi Leela. Like, there are two branches. Advaita Acharya, Nityanand Prabhu. Under Nityanand Prabhu are all the devotees. Under Advaita Acharya were all the devotees. He has taken the names and names after the names. So, just to encourage us, you are not the alone Baba. So many have actually performed devotional service, and so many have followed the process, and so many have attained perfection. So, you are not the one. So, Bhagavatam is also giving, he is telling the names externally, but the mood of Sukadeva Goswami in telling all those names is very, very deep actually. No? So reference, rarity, and one more thing, there is one interesting thing also there, why names are given. Now, one time our Ambarish Prabhu, Alfred Ford, for the first time, one of the Prabhupada disciples took Ambarish Prabhu, Alfred Ford at the time, to Srila Prabhupada, and he introduced Alfred Ford to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada asked the question, where is your father? Where is the Ford? So what does it mean? Oh, one may be very, very great person, but he cannot stay here for long. So all these names also shows these are all the great kings. But where are they? They are in the pages of Bhagavatam. They are very fortunate. They are in the pages of Bhagavatam. But where are they? They are not there physically with their bodies here. Not there. So this also shows that we will be practicing, we want to practice Krishna consciousness, but we cannot practice Krishna consciousness in the same body forever. Or we cannot keep this body forever. So death is an imminent truth. So we have to face that truth. So this also says that one after another king coming. So we have to prepare ourselves for death. But which is a difficult thing. So but we have to practice. So in a Krishna conscious life, death is a celebration. Why? Actually, one performs Krishna consciousness properly. Death is a moment where one gets a chance to meet Krishna, like His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. He said that he was affected with cancer, and say every day, 6 months, he was telling, one day is gone. He used to say that I am going one day closer to Krishna. Recently also we have seen His Holiness Kadambakanan Maharaj also. One day coming closer to Krishna. Ordinary person feels, oh, hi, I am going to die. But devotee is feeling, I am going one day closer to Krishna, meet Krishna. Means, of course, now we are in the transition phase from sadhana bhakti to in the perfection stage. For us, it's difficult to digest also. But even Parikshit Maharaj also exactly exhibited that kind of devotional sentiment. So that's what we see. Why Sukadeva Goswami mentions all these names, takes the pain. It's not an easy. You try to remember all the names. Very difficult, very, very difficult. Even I don't remember I only remember my father, my grandfather. After that, I don't remember anyone's names only. I don't know how many of you still remember their names. But Sukadeva Goswami has remembered all the names and then he presented them in Bhagavatam. So, now the question comes, what is so special about King Gaya? If King Gaya is not so special, why Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami stopped when the King Gaya's name came? There must be some speciality about King Gaya. So, King Gaya is none other than whom is actually partial incarnation of the Lord Vishnu. So, Bhagavatam we only find either Krishna, his incarnation, his devotees, and the devotion. These are the only topics of Bhagavatam. In the secondary way, there are so many other things are also explained, but the focus is only how Krishna's devotion has to be performed. Krishna, his incarnation, his devotion, his devotees. These are the only topics. You know? So, King Gaya is none other than the partial incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami stopped. Let me explain about King Gaya. King Gaya is actually, you see, our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. He is a supreme Lord, but he came as a devotee. But he is not the first example. There are so many examples in Bhagavatam, Rishabdev. This Gaya is also another example. He is incarnation of the Lord, but he is also a great devotee of Lord. Before Gaya, Prithu Maharaj also came. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not the first example that Lord himself came as his devotee. No. So, Brahma Samhita says, Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishta Nana Avataram Akarot Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Parma Pumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna Swayam, the Krishna personally expands into multiple incarnations, and one of them is King Gaya. So entire Vedic scriptures talk about only Hari. In Chaitanya Charitamrita one shloka comes, Vede Ramayane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Adi Antyecha Madhyecha Hari Sarvatra Giyete. What is there in the scriptures? If someone asks, this shloka says only Hari glories are there. Adi Antyecha Madhyecha Sarvatra Hari Giyate. Only about Hari is there, nothing else is there. Hari. So the glories of Hari is there in entire scriptures, and now Sukadeva Goswami is explaining about King Gaya. So Vedas explain about father. Veda is like a mother. Prabhupada says Veda is a mother and mother explains about father. So it is nothing astonishing, right? Mother is explaining about Father Krishna. An ordinary newspaper explains about ordinary people of this material world. But the scriptures are explaining only about Krishna. So that means Vedas are meant for glorification of Krishna. But if we want to extract anything else, any other message from Vedas, that is not actually correct. That's why Krishna even condemns Vedavada Rata Partha. He says, don't be attracted to these flowery words of the Vedas. Rise above these flowery words. So that's why the essence of scriptures, Vedas, is a devotion to Krishna. If anything else is the essence we are extracting from reading scripture, that means that is not correct. That's why Krishna himself said in 15th chapter, Vedaischa sarve ahameva Veda. I am to be known, I am to be worshipped, I am to be loved. That is the essence of Vedic scripture. So that's why only Krishna is the worthy person of glorification. That's why devotees don't glorify any other person. Either Krishna or his devotees are worthy of glorification. No other person is worthy of glorification. That's why scriptures talk about glories after glories after glories. So in second canto Bhagavatam it comes that one who doesn't fill the ears with the glories of the Lord, actually their holes are like snake holes. I was wondering why only snake holes? Why not any other hole? Why only snake hole? Why not any other hole? There are so many holes are there. Ant holes are also there. In the like ant holes are there. What else? So many living entities also have. They prepare the holes and then they live in under the hole. Why only snake hole? Anyone knows? Prabhupada explained in one of the lecture actually. Why only snake hole?
Poison. Why? Snake takes somebody else's place.
Then that is okay. Then
Resides there.
then
Eats.
then
Poison is
then why ear holes are compared to the snake holes? So, huh? No other things. Okay. No other message. Okay. So Prabhupada says very nicely. Actually, if you walk in the field, so many rats are there. Field rats stay. And then rats, what do? They prepare the hole. And then what happens? Snake comes. And then eats the rat and stay within the hole. Now, once someone understands snake is living within the hole, no one goes to that hole. That means that hole is meant for some purpose, but it is actually not utilized. So, the second canto Bhagavatam says, those who don't fill their ear holes with the glories of Lord Krishna, their ear holes are like snake holes. Why? These are meant for filling wonderful message of the Lord. Now you are not using. So your ear holes are actually as good as snake hole. That means useless. That's what Bhagavatam wants to say. Indirectly wants to say, Arey Baba, don't waste your ear holes in filling nonsense topics. Fill the holes with topics of Krishna. There is no dearth of the topics of Krishna. Now we are discussing about Gaya. So many incarnations are there and so many wonderful glories are there. So this is how Bhagavatam is saying. Actually, Bhagavatam sometimes very strong. Actually, very strong. You fool! Don't waste your ear holes in filling something nonsense. Fill it with Krishna's name, qualities, Krishna's pastimes. That's why we should always make use of the ears. So that's why only the Krishna's katha can create an very auspicious atmosphere. Nothing else in this world can create an auspicious atmosphere. Tat kathasu mahat punyam danyam swastyenam yata yatra yatrottama shloke Bhagavan giyate hari. Bhagavatam is telling Dhanyam Swastyayanamita Shubham. Only auspiciousness can be created by Krishna's glories. So that's why devotees take effort. Like today our IVF team has gone outside for Nagar Sankirtan. So our devotees take effort all over the world to actually create an auspiciousness, Mangalmay, the auspiciousness in the society, because this is based on these words that only Krishna Katha can create auspiciousness, bring auspiciousness into the lives of the people. Nothing else can do that. Ena kena prakarena. Whatever one may do, one can never be happy. This is the message of. So, now you see in the material world we have everything. Now, what is not there? We have within short interval we can communicate with even International Space Station also, which is far. International Space Station. We have developed that kind of advanced communication. We are launching rockets. We are communicating. What not? We have robotics. Even transplantation happens by a automated way. Robots are involved. Everything. People, human beings, they doesn't have to do much physical labor. But still, people are frustrated. So Bhagavata message is not some pale message or stale message. Still, it is applicable. So that's why we have to again and again discuss the glories of the Lord. And this Gaya, King Gaya, is not only an incarnation of the Lord, but is a great devotee of the Lord, and who is actually an inspiration for us. We also want to become a devotee of the Lord. We have not become devotees, but we are in the process of becoming devotees. So to become a devotee, we need to know what actually is meant by devotion, what activities devotees have performed in their life actually to become a devotee. Of course, in our life it became very simple. Prabhupada has given everything step to step, everything given. That's why we don't feel that much something new when we read this. Prabhupada has given that essence. That's why we are every day we are chanting, reading scriptures, rendering service, different items Prabhupada has given. But what actually these devotees have performed to become a great devotee? So I was just that's why I opened this verse. So what this king Gaya has done to become a great devotee? The previous verse the says that okay, 1 second. So King Gaya is a not only an ordinary person or a sannyasi, he was a great king. So what did he do while performing his occupational duties? He also became a great devotee. This is an inspiration because people complain, Prabhu, I don't have time, I am so busy. No, King Gaya is very, very busy. What all he did, you will be astonished to see. He did that. He saw that there was sufficient food to feed all the citizens. In a family, just to make sure that all the family members get the sufficient food is a challenge. All the people, why are you working so hard? मेरा पेट को भरना है. I want to feed my stomach and feed the stomach of my family members. But here King Gaya not only for one family, but all the citizens of his entire kingdom. That is called Poshana. He took care of the portion of all the citizens. And then he would sometimes distribute gifts to the citizen to satisfy them. Not only taking care of them, also giving gift. In the current government, people take our gifts in the 30%, 40% tax and everything. Tax is not a problem. King Gaya also took the tax. But the point is what he did in return of taking the tax is a matter. So he gave the gifts also to satisfy you see, to satisfy citizens. Who thinks like no? One sometime back I saw in LinkedIn this. Everyone complains in rainy season. This holes, path holes, and other things. So much tax goes, but roads won't get fixed or repaired. That's another thing. I'm not going into politics, but here the king Gaya is one such king. Is thinking always how to please the citizens who hardly thinks about that. So now that's why this aristocracy, no, it's not there. Democracy is there. Demon crazy is there. So but Prabhupada always glorified aristocracy. One king is responsible to take care of the citizens to satisfy their needs. And you see, in such under such a king, is there any fear that how will I fill my stomach tomorrow? We are all struggling hard. Oh, I have to save so much, otherwise, how will I live? Inflation is going day by day. Previously, rice cost is that little bit. Now it is 70, 100. In my childhood, I saw 10 rupees, 5 rupees, we got the 1 kg of rice. Rice was not changed. The ingredient did not change. What is the change? Price changed. So you see, this is all artificial kind of some gimmicks are there. So, but here, this king, not only doing what he is doing, you see, is calling meetings. He would sometimes call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. Who speaks sweet words with other fellow citizen? But king is doing that. That's why Gaya is glorified. He's not an ordinary king. He's a great devotee king. This is called Upalalana. And not only that, he did not stop there itself. What else he did? He would also give them good instruction how to become first class citizen. No one even thinks what is actually meant by first class citizen. This is called king. First actually caring for them, loving them, and then actually giving instruction. So this also we have to learn when we are actually cultivating devotees. Only when we actually care for them, love them, then we have a right to actually of course, we don't instruct them, but we encourage them to follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So you see what King Gaya is doing. So wonderful lesson is teaching that he cared for them by taking care of their bodily necessities and giving gifts. Not only that, he used to speak sweet words. We can also learn to apply this principle among in our devotee community. How we can interact with devotees, speak with them nice words, sweet words. That doesn't mean we'll speak false words. No, we won't speak false words, but at the same time, not harsh words also. That we have to learn. Anushasana. And important thing is teaching them how to become first class citizens. So such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. So not only that, astonishing thing is King Gaya is a householder also. Most of us here are householders. So one feels that like when we interact with devotee, Prabhu, I am so busy. My Saturday gone, Sunday gone, Monday to Friday I am so busy. But this King Gaya, taking care of all of them, is a householder and is a great devotee of the Lord. So I am not saying we are not really busy. But what I am trying to say, we can take inspiration from King Gaya, how he managed his life and became a great devotee of the Lord. For us, if you become a devotee of the Lord, that's a perfection. Forget about great devotee. Becoming a devotee is a perfection of our life. And King Gaya is such a wonderful example. Not only that, he has received the title called Mahapurusha. You know what is Mahapurusha? Maha plus Purusha, great man. He was in the household, he is not a sannyasi, he is not a brahmachari, he is not a vanaprastha. He is a householder managing kingly duties wonderfully and performing Krishna conscious duties and received the title. Of course, eventually he has left the householder life also, but he has received the title Mahapurusha, great man. So in our scriptures, who else has this title Mahapurusha? Actually, this Mahapurusha is the word is used for Lord Vishnu. So Prabhupada writes, refers to advanced devotees and also to the Supreme. So advanced devotees and only to the Supreme Lord this word is used. That means this shows that King Gaya is a very advanced devotee. I will also tell how advanced he is. He is so advanced that he received the title. So in our Bhagavatam, this 11th canto, this verse comes when about the topic of Karabhajana Rishi is instructing this king. Then he told this verse, Tyaktva sudustyaja suraepshita raja lakshmi dharmishta arya vachasa edagad aranya maya mrugam daita epshita anvadavad vande mahapurushaste charanaravindam. This verse is very interesting verse. This verse, one verse speaks about three people. One verse speaks about three people. Krishna, Lord Rama and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I am talking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna, Lord Rama, they are anyhow Mahapurusha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself he came as a devotee, but he got the title Mahapurusha. Vande Mahapurushaste Charanaravindam. Why Mahapurusha? Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became Mahapurusha? So one of the important quality of a Mahapurusha is being most merciful. Being most merciful. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the beginning we discussed today that the purpose of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that one day that shloka we discussed, Ajanu Lambita Bhujau Kanakar Dato Sankirtaneka Pitaro Kamalaya Vishwambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. He is a Karunavatara. That's why he is the Mahapurusha. What is that he has done? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there on this material world, he was always searching, going here and there to deliver the conditioned living entities. In South India, we see he comes and he embraced the living entities, and that person who got the embrace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was flooded with the love of Krishna. And that devotee, when he went and touched other devotees, what happened? Then that entire village became mad with the love for Krishna. So this is a great quality of a Mahapurusha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that. So, and Sri Chaitanya Mahapurusha also has another thing. Mahapurusha has a what? There are 32 bodily that symptoms, that qualities are there, bodily marks are there. Even Lord Buddha had these 32 marks. Like Buddhism, they also accept that Buddha's hands also extended to the knees, Ajanulamba. He is also like that. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, one pastime comes that actually when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, the first festival what they have done, like no, one of the first beginning festivals is Uttana. Like no, in Krishna's festival also, when Krishna just changes his direction and then starts just that time, it's called Uttana festival. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when that festival happened, and then what happened? Then in that home of Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra used to observe that some special marks in the footprints and in their house. And they were thinking, what they were thinking? Actually, they were thinking now, they used to worship Shaligram. The Shaligram you can see still in our Yoga Peeth when you go to Mayapur. The Shaligram, they were thinking that no, Krishna is not different from Archa, the deity. Now he manifested himself and walking in the house, and his footprints are there everywhere in the house. And the footprints has there are special marks, Shankha Chakra and other kind of marks. They are so happy. But actually, when they were thinking like that, and then Nimai, that is in the night they were discussing, and Nimai woke up and then he started crying. And when she is feeding Nimai, breastfeeding the milk, at that time she saw on the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu what? Exactly those marks. So they were thinking, is this Krishna or is this my boy? Who is actually walking that all the footprints. And Jagannath Mishra, she called Jagannath, you see, our son has the special marks on his feet. And then Jagannath Mishra was so happy. And then he called Nilambar Chakravarti. Nilambar Chakravarti is the father of Mother Shachi. He calls. Then he's an astrologer. And then this astrologer, Nilambar Chakravarti, tells, actually, your son is not an ordinary person. He's a Mahapurusha. He has all the great qualities of a great person. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's how this verse comes actually. Bhatrisha Lakshana Mahapurusha Bhushana Ei Shishu Ange Deki Sei Sab Lakshana. 32 bodily marks are there that actually symptomize a great personality. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has that kind of, this kind of bodily marks are Ajanulamba, that knee, hands getting extended to the knees, that won't be seen in an ordinary person. These are seen only in extraordinary person, like no Supreme Lord or his great devotees. So that's why King Gaya also called as, he received the title Mahapurusha. He's such an advanced devotee. That's why he received the title. But one interesting thing which happened in the King Gaya's life is, he performed so many Vedic rituals, sacrifices, yajna. But what happened? To receive the offerings of the yajna of King Gaya's sacrifices, the Krishna personally came as a Vishnu, appeared in the sacrificial arena of that King Gaya's sacrifice. And then he said that he personally took the offerings. You see, big Vedic yajna sacrifice is happening. Generally, what do the priests do? They put swaha in the fire, and then that will go to the Supreme Lord and then distributed to the different demigods. But Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is so pleased with King Gaya's devotion and his occupational duty, then he came personally to accept the offerings from King Gaya's hand. Can you imagine what kind of special blessing he has received, King Gaya? Not only that, Krishna, what did he say when he came? He said very important thing. Oh Gaya, I am fully pleased with you. I am fully satisfied with you. And we are all trying to please Krishna. We are all trying to perform devotional service to perform Radha and Krishna. But here there is a person, the King Gaya, to whom Krishna is personally telling in his own words from his lotus mouth, I am fully pleased with you, King Gaya. What else do we need? For us, when we want to perform devotional service, you see, perform devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord. We say, but what is our understanding when we say pleasure of the Lord? Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado. Yasya prasadat nagati kutab. If you please spiritual master, you will please Krishna. Our way of pleasing Krishna is by pleasing spiritual master. And that too also we are very far from the spiritual master. It's very difficult to even receive that, yes, I am pleased with your service. Some fortunate devotees, they receive this kind of blessing. But Gaya is the one devotee who has personally received that from Krishna himself, that is telling, I am pleased with you. I am pleased with you. So, like every day we offer bhoga to Krishna. When we offer bhoga, yes, Krishna definitely eats. But Krishna's eating also differs. When King Gaya is offering, Krishna is personally putting in mouth and eating. But when we offer, Krishna may not eat, may eat, we don't know. May not eat directly from his mouth. But what is also our understanding as per Brahma Samhita? Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jagan. So every limb of Krishna can do the function of every other limb. So when Krishna sees, he also eats. So mostly our bhoga, Krishna sees and eats. But there is a one pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Raghunandan Thakur, his father name is Mukunda. So Mukunda Dasa is actually physician. He's a devotee, but he's a devotee physician. In our Krishna consciousness movement also we have so many devotee doctors, devotee lawyers, so many like this. So Mukundasa was a a devotee physician. So when he used to worship Gopinathji, his deity Gopinathji, and the deity was worshipped by his father, his forefather, and his forefathers, many forefathers, and then he also worshipped very carefully this Gopinathji. But one day, because of some emergency, he had to go out of the service, and that service he has given to who? His son Raghunandan. Raghunandan, so I am going for a service. So now what you do? This Gopinath is very special. So just like your mother feeds you very carefully every day, so what you do? You feed Gopinath carefully. So Raghunandan took that instruction of the father, and then he took that instruction of the father very, very seriously. And then when the father went outside, he brought the ingredients, took bath and took prepared nicely, and then offered to Krishna. Offered to Krishna Gopinath. He was thinking offering means what? We think like that offering means close the curtain, put plate, and come outside, offer the prayers. Krishna, you eat. Means we request through our spiritual master. So he was thinking, but Krishna is not eating. Gopinath is not eating. Then he asked, child started crying. Gopinathji, eat, please eat. He was started crying, and then Gopinathji, you see, this is actually example shows that Krishna is not different from his deity. Then seeing the intense devotion of the child, what did he do? Gopinathji started eating anything, clean plate. Even single half grain also he did not leave. It's like clean sweep. He ate everything. And then later he was happy, and then father came. Father asked Raghunandan, where is Prasadam? Where is Prasadam? Huh? Raghunandan shocked. Prasadam? Krishna ate everything. You only asked me to offer. I offered, and Krishna ate everything. And then this actually Raghunandan never lied actually. He always spoke truth. So he was thinking this boy is not a naughty boy. We also understand the behavior of our child also, whether our child is a naughty or a truthful or different nature. We also understand actually something is messy here. And he understood that. Later, another day, what happened? The same way he did. Raghunandan, you offer again. I am going out. But what did he do this time? He actually came from a different entrance, and then he was just hiding and then watching this entire thing. And then again this Raghunandan started doing same thing. He offered. And then Gopinathji started eating laddu. But Gopinathji observed that Mukunda is watching. That's it. Then he ate half laddu, and then just that. Even that laddu is still there now in the deity. So what is the thing? These great devotees, when we hear them, yes, Krishna reciprocates with the devotees. That gives a hope that When we also advance in Krishna consciousness in our devotional service, when we also offer to Krishna, Krishna can eat personally. This happened with King Gaya, we are discussing today, and it happened with this great devotee Raghunandan. Later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Mukunda, who is the father? The question itself is a very little tricky question. Mukunda Dasa's son is Raghunandan, and to Mukunda is asking who is father. And Mukunda told, actually, Raghunandan is my father. Even though I am father, he is my son, but I am inspired by the devotion. So in devotional service, there is no age. Means I can be inspired by the child, from the child also. I can be inspired from the elderly devotee also. And Mukunda Dasa is so humbly saying that actually Raghunandan is my father, I am his child, because he learnt the devotion from his son. So this is actually devotee, that's why he has to be humble to learn devotion. Whoever is giving devotion, I am ready to take that devotional mode. So this is so inspiring. That's why King Gaya, when he offered, Krishna personally came, accepted the remnants, and then he said, not remnants, the bhoga itself, and then he said, I am very, very pleased with you. These are the wonderful glories of King Gaya. And not only that, King Gaya satisfied all the demigods. All the demigods. Even Indra came personally to the sacrifice. People perform yajna. How, why demigods will come? No. But King Gaya's sacrifice, Indra also came personally, Supreme Lord came personally. That's why Prabhupada's very famous verse, Yata taror moola nishechanenya tripyanti tat skanda bhujopashaka. By watering the root, we can spread the water to all the leaves and twigs. So similarly, by pleasing Krishna, we can please all the living entities. So this is again, King Gaya is demonstrating that principle, how he performed devotional service in such a way that Supreme Lord was pleased, demigods were pleased. Not only that, in his kingdom, even Kshatriyas who had to fight with King Gaya, they were also pleased, and they were so happy to be under the subordination of King Gaya. Not only that, even Brahmanas, they said, we will give you 1/5 of our piety, you please take. Who will say like that? Brahmanas were so pleased. And then with Vaishyas, he was speaking sweet words. With Shudras, this word is little, means people mistake it also, but he was giving sumptuous food and charity to them. Like that, everyone was pleased with King Gaya. That's why Sukadeva Goswami stopped when King Gaya's name came. He was a perfect devotee, and then he also rendered occupational duties nicely. He pleased Krishna, which is also aim of our life, to please Krishna, which says that, so Krishna is actually becomes controlled by devotion. Krishna is controlled by devotion. Krishna is not controlled by any external things, controlled by pure devotion, and which we are here to cultivate that pure devotion in our life. That's why he says, Aham Bhakta Paradino. I am actually not dependent, or I am not independent. Actually, I am dependent upon my devotee. So that's why what is our prayer this month actually signifies, tells again and again that Krishna comes under the control of his devotee by pure devotion, and this month encourages us to progress in the path of pure devotional service to please Radharani, because we can only approach Krishna through Srimati Radharani. So that is our thing. So encouraging us to progress in the path. Don't stop. There are so many examples are there. Please progress. And what is our prayer in this month? What is our prayer? Satyavrata Muni is saying, Varam Deva Moksham na Moksha Vadimva Nachanyam Vrineham Vare Sadapiha Idam te Vapur Nata Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasya Virastam Kimanye. So he's telling very nicely, I don't need it. I don't need moksham. I don't need liberation. I don't want to go to your spiritual planet also. What I need, your Vapu, this form of Bala Gopala, Idante Vapur Nata Gopala Bala. This form of yours as a Bala Gopala is very enchanting. Sada me manasi avi rastam ki manne. Sada, you please, I want to relish your childhood form, your qualities, your pastimes. Kindly be manifest in my heart, in my mind. Sada, always. Ki manne. What else is the blessing I need? You can give any blessing, But I don't need any other blessing. I need only one blessing, your form of this Bal Gopala. Please manifest yourself in my mind. I want to relish that. So this is a wonderful thing. Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhaktu. And Satyavrata Muni exactly saying that I want to. How we can always remember Krishna? Actually, by constantly remembering the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So we are right on time. Our Keshav Prabhu told me, Prabhu, in the beginning. Yes, he called me. Okay, so we are very happy to discuss about King Gaya, his devotion, how he pleased Krishna, which is a very, very inspiring for all of us. And we are exactly in the month of devotion. So, now any questions or comments? One or two questions only. Yeah. If no questions or comments, then we'll proceed to the next program. Because we are discussing about the 5th canto, 15th chapter, 8th shloka. About the 8th shloka, now 3-4 shlokas are actually talking about King Gaya. So if you miss in the beginning, you cannot understand the context. Simple thing. So, that's in a joking way told. But actually, because now we are discussing a particular verse, we want to glorify him to the best of our capacity, what he did and how he is an inspiration for us. So this current shloka is that one. And King Gaya we don't hear, right? How many of us hear about King Gaya? And maybe we have read once, if you have ever read Bhagavatam 5th canto. Otherwise we don't discuss about King Gaya in our general sessions. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, no. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha Pasindu Bevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.